Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Afternoon, everyone.
Shabbos,
Hello.
Rabbi. Shabbos, Rabbi.
Hi, Rabbi.
Good
Shabbos.
Rabbi.
Shabbos.
Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Erev Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Whoa. Oh, wonderful to see you guys.
Likewise.
Oh. So are we preparing a nice story today?
Oh, we've got a big crowd, yeah. 11 so far.
Contest today.
Hi, good Shabbos, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, I've got an apology from Jeffrey Klein, who said that because they're confined to the rooms now, he's not able to come down to the lounge or wherever he goes to normally, where he gets a better signal. So he's asked me to record it, and we are recording this section. So I will, when we finish, I will put it up on YouTube, and hopefully it will be done still today. If not, tomorrow night, and everybody will be able to see. So Jeffrey, we wish you a good Shabbos. And then another one, of course, is Leon Lipschitz, who said he's going to try and connect, but I see he's not connected. Leon, we wish you a refuah shleima, and hopefully you'll be able to watch the video.
Amen.
So after having said that, it's over to the big boss, the rabbi.
I thought you were referring. I thought you were referring to Selwyn. Hello, Helen.
Hi. Shabbos, everybody.
Hello, Estelle and Shmuley and Joel and Norman.
Hello.
Hi.
I'll just give you a quick update of the shul. Is that since there have been a lot of infections in the hospital section of Sandringham Gardens, we are just being a little bit cautious today. We didn't open up this morning. We're waiting to see what the executive tells us, whether to open up for Shabbos or not. But we're just being very cautious, and it's possible that it might not be open over Shabbos, the shul. But we're just watching everything very carefully, because it's well known that there are a number of infections in the frail care and hospital section of Sandringham Gardens, and we wish them all a refuah shleima. The majority seem to be doing okay. A lot of people are asymptomatic, and some people have got mild symptoms. So please God, they will all be okay. But we just have to be careful with our shul as well, because this thing doesn't differentiate. It doesn't say you're a shul goer and therefore you're not going to get the infection. So we just have to be very, very careful. And so we may not, for the first time, have a Shabbos service this Shabbos, but we will monitor. And I know I can see Joel is there. Joel, can you hear me?
Just so that we could hear you better, I muted everybody, but you can unmute yourselves all.
Okay, so Joel will know that I will contact the guys. As far as things go at the moment, the shul is closed. But if it is open tonight, I will let the guys know. Okay, so that's for Joel to know. All right. Okay, before I give it my Torah, Doctor.
Okay.
Over to you.
Right. There's a little town in Lithuania. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, but I'm going to mute everybody else so that we can hear you better.
Can you hear me?
But everybody can unmute themselves.
Right. Can you all hear me now?
Go ahead, Doctor.
Right. There was a town in Lithuania many years ago which had a surplus of young ladies and not prospective collars, but there weren't enough prospective grooms, horses. So what they had to do, they contacted the shadchan, who arranged to bring them in, to bring the men in from another town. Anyway, so two mothers-in-law were waiting for their son-in-law, to come in by train, and the train arrives, and what happens? Instead of being two, there are only one. There's only one groom. So they started, the two mothers-in-law started fighting. Who's going to get this chosen? And they were fighting and fighting. Eventually, they got nowhere. They said they'll consult with the rabbi. So they went to the rabbi, and the rabbi could get nowhere. Eventually, he said, I'm going to do a Solomon judgment. From Melech Shlomo, King Solomon, he said, what we'll do is we'll cut the bridegroom in two, and you'll each get half. So the one mother-in-law said, right, let's get on with it. He says, I can see you really are the mother-in-law.
Unmute? Are we muted? No, we're not muted. Yeah, we're fine.
Hey, Rabbi, I didn't unmute you. I didn't unmute you. What a pleasure to be able to mute and unmute the Rabbi. I can't even find you now. Ruth Gobb, Sarah, Aubrey, Estelle, George, iPhone, Ivor. There we are. Unmute. But you can unmute yourselves. You can all unmute yourselves. Huh? Right, Rabbi, you're on the air.
Okay, good. Thank you. And first of all,
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Amen.
You see, when you say l'chaim, these days, you mean it.
Yeah, you mean it.
Okay, so we know that two parshas ago in Parshat Shlach, we read about the very famous incident of the spies. Everybody knows about the story of the spies. Very, very famous. And we know that it ended in a disaster, that the spies came back with a very bad report, and that led to a whole upheaval amongst the Jewish people, and it led to punishments, and none of the generation could enter Eretz Israel. But there was another time when Moshe Rabbeinu sent spies into a foreign land. Does anybody know when that was?
Okay, I have to unmute for them to be able to answer.
Put up your hand. Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. Except Doctor thinks he knows. Doctor, do you know?
No, you were waving your hand around.
Okay, so it's actually the second time that Moshe Rabbeinu sent spies in is in this week's Parsha, in Chukat, at the end of Chukat. Yeah. What does it say? It says that the Jewish people settled in the land of the Amorites. As they were making their way towards Israel, they settled in the land of the Amorites. And the next land that they were coming to was the country of Yazer. Yazer. And the Torah says, Moshe sent people to spy out the city or the land of Yazer. And they conquered it. They conquered the land. And they drove the people out of the land. So who conquered the land? Rashi tells us that according to the simple understanding of the Torah, Moshe sent the spies in, and they conquered the land. Who is they? The spies. The spies actually went in and they conquered the land. And this is such a contrast to what happened with the original spies. The original spies went into Eretz Israel, and they came back with a report that we can't conquer the land. Not us, not the entire nation. Excuse me. But these spies went in, and not only did they not even come back and give a report about the land, they conquered the land themselves. It doesn't say exactly how many spies there were, but I can't imagine that there were more than a handful or maybe 10. They conquered the land, which is absolutely unbelievable. They conquered the land of Yazer. And you know why they were so successful? the commentaries tell us, is because they trusted in the prayer of Moshe Rabbeinu. They trusted in Hashem. Whereas the original spies, we know that at the root of their sin was a lack of trust in Hashem. But these few spies went in and they conquered an entire land because they believed in Hashem. They believed in Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillah. So it's an amazing thing that what these spies did. And obviously, they had hindsight. They saw what happened with the original spies and they learned from them. You have to have faith. You have to believe in Hashem. If Hashem says it will be okay, and if Moshe davens for it to be okay, you've got to go with that. That's your greatest weapon. And that's what they did. But there's one more thing, is that the commentaries also tell us that this was very, very quiet. That's why when I asked the question, most people don't even know about this incident. It's one line in the Torah. No names mentioned. We don't even know who these spies are. Okay? Whereas the original story, the original spies, we know every single spy by name, by their father's name. Everybody knows that story. And the difference is that this one was done with modesty and humility. It wasn't done with great fanfare. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about making my name great and famous in the world. It was about doing the will of Hashem. That was at the root of the difference between the two stories. The original spies were concerned more about themselves and their their name, their fame, than Hashem. But these spies went in the name of Hashem only. They were only interested in being successful for the name of Hashem. And that's why we don't even know their names, because that wasn't important to them at all. So we learned some beautiful lessons from this. Number one is that if Hashem says that something will be all right, trust in Hashem. But also, and very importantly, is that when you do something in life, whatever it is, it's usually much better to do it with humility, with modesty, and not for the sake of fame. When you start with the sake of fame, you already are likely not to succeed. But if you do it with modesty, only for the sake of Hashem, you've got a very good chance of succeeding. And that was the story, the little one line in our Pasha. Let me tell you, it's a long Pasha. It's a double Pasha tomorrow. And that one little line is such a profound lesson for all of us. Good Shabbos to everyone. Please God, everybody should be well, especially our dear friends in Sandringham Gardens who are battling against this virus and hopefully being victorious.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Especially our good friend Leon Lipschitz, who obviously is not connected because he couldn't get a line or something. But we wish him better. Amen. All right, Rabbi, I owe Seki for a long time now, for a few months. I owe her. She asked me to please sing Begalach and to record it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to mute everybody except myself. But anybody that wants to unmute yourself, you can. And by the way, with Zoom, if you only want to unmute yourself to say something, and then go back muted, and those of you that are on a computer, not on a cell phone, if you press the space bar, the long bar, you press it down, it becomes unmuted. You let it go, it mutes again.
I just tested that, it works.
Of course. Of course, but I'm not sure how you do the equivalent on a cell phone. Anyway, this is for Seki and for everybody else that has heard me many times as well. It goes like this. Come by my Begalach, my fresh shot Begalach. They feel so good and warm and taste so sweet. Come feast your Begalach on mine Begalach. The kind I make and sell just can't be beat. So come and run and see what we call bublichki. We eat them filled or plain or toasted brown. So Shalom Aleichem, come make a meal of them and spread the words and news around the town. I feed my family on wholesome bublichki. Und keinen hore, you should see them grown. My grown-up kinderlach a little einiklach, like strong and sturdy trees all in a row. Each 40 years or more, I never can keep score that I have kneaded, baked, and pedaled round. For your Gesundheit's sake, an honest living make. The only wealth is health, this I have found. Though others riches seek, I'm simple, mild, and meek. My muzzle brings me neither jewels nor gold. My treasures, as you see, are trays of bublichki. I'm satisfied enough when they are sold. So buy a roll or bun, buy 3 or 2 or 1, and come and sing with me this cheerful song. Come feast your Galach on meine Begalach. Enjoy the days and years that roll along. Come feast your Galach on meine Begalach. Enjoy the days and years that roll along. I became famous. I became famous with this song. Thank you, thank you. Right. Who's next?
Normally, we start off with the Kohen Gadol, but today we're going to end off with the Kohen Gadol.
Right.
Unless anybody else wants to say something to the group. Selwyn, give us a bracha.
You promised to sing.
Please God, everybody be well soon. And just keep safe.
Estelle, you mean me?
Yes, you promised.
Oy vey. You mean Achzi's Rabbi?
All of you.
You promised us, Steady. Come on.
Next week, Estelle.
No. Today's the concert. Come on.
Oh, no. Oh, you're right. But guess what? I don't have the words with me.
You left them in the show.
But who else is in the concert? Jeff and anyone else? We've had the joke. Anyone else in the concert? I'm sorry, we'll have to leave my part for next week. But over to Jeff.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, nice to see you guys all well and being part of everything on this erev Shabbat is so beautiful. You know, we're in the times now where we are in the time of the return of the exiles. Never in history has there been a return of exiles, and that's very, very special. We were exiled because people have said, were we divorced by Hashem? No, we weren't divorced by Hashem. First of all, Torah never mentions us as being the wife, or Hashem being the wife, the spouse. Why? Because it says we're the children of Hashem. So therefore, it has been brought up, well, we were divorced from Hashem, and that it's like a man or woman's been divorced, and can she come back to her husband if she's been with somebody else? Well, that was the question. So the question there's been pointed out, well, we were the wife of Hashem, and we are the spouse, and why is it that we can come back? It's a very important question. Well, we can come back because we are his children. Prophetically, it tells you about we his wife, that we are the spouse, prophetically. But from Torah, it never mentions it one bit about a wife or a husband or a spouse. We are his children. So therefore, we can come back. But the prophecies, the prophetic Torah was such that we are the spouse of Hashem. So therefore, look, Adodi, that what this is, come my beloved, to greet the bride. This is it, Hashem, the bride. It's beautiful. So this is what we sing. So every week, when we're together, there are certain nigunim that we sing. But as we're not together, you'll excuse me if I use a nigun which I've more or less made up, and I will start with that, if it's okay with you guys. Lecha dodi, lekraskala, panesha basna kabala. Lecha dodi, lekraskala, panesha basna kabala. Shamo besacho bedibur echad ishmianu. Elami yechad, Adonai echad, ushma echad, neshemu teferes azisila. Lekrasha basna chuvan elcha kimiko. Habaracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof maase masrasakatigala, lechadodi lekraskala, panesha bas the kabbalah, lechadodi lekraskala, panesha bas the kabbalah, mikdash melech ir melucha kumiti, mitoch afecha, rav lach sheves b'yem kabacha, ahu yachamol aleichem la, lechadodi lekraskala, panesha bas the kabbalah, Lechadodi lekraskala, panesha bas nakabala, isnaria for kumi, liv shibigdei tefatecha mi, al yad ben yishai beisalach mi, korvel nav shigala, isoirari, kovore, komi uri, shidaberi, kavod adonai alai, sekloi lechadodi, lekraskala, panesha bas nakabala, lechadodi, lekraskala, panesha bas nakabala, lo se boshi, lo stikami, miratish kochake matemi, boch yachasu aniami, venif nesoir altila, hoy leshim so sayich, barochat kukol Veilig, yes is laich, gives us Hassan, Alcala, Lachatodi, Lecraskala, Panesha Bas, the Kabbalah, Lachadodi, the Kraskala, Panesha Bas, the Kabbalah, Yum in the small frotzi, Esadanoita, Iritzi, Ayad Ben Yishai, Besalaki, but this Bechor Nagila, Katatoidi, the Kraskala, Panesha Bas, the Kabbalah, lechadodi, lekraskala, panesha bas, lekabbalah, boi v'shalom ateres lala, gam besimcha utzala, toch emune amsegula, boi kala, lechadodi, lekraskala, panesha bas, lekabbalah, lechadodi, lekraskala, panesha bas, lekabbalah.
You should go, Chef. You should go.
Good.
Zakiach HaKohen, Zakiach HaKohen. I don't know whether everybody received it, but I sent a message of one sentence of today's newsletter by, I don't see Estelle. Estelle is gone.
Oi, maybe she was cross that I didn't sing.
Estelle is gone. Estelle is gone, but I don't know whether you saw that one beautiful statement. At the end of the one paragraph, it says, keep strong, we love you, always together, never apart, maybe in distance, but never in heart. What's
Oh, beautiful.
so nice, so
I
beautiful.
just heard from Dr. Singer that the vast majority of our residents who have got the virus are doing very, very, very well.
Wonderful.
Thank God.
Wonderful.
Thank
Good
God.
Wunderbar.
Baruch Hashem.
Keep davening. Keep davening.
Okay.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Wonderful to see you all.
Good Shabbos. Have a good
And
one.
Stepta, as we say in Greek.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, HaKohen. Good Shabbos, everybody. Keep strong.
Shabbos.
God bless.
Everybody, good Shabbos, 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 how are you?
All right, Shabbos, everybody. Okay, I'm cutting it off. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Oh, love you.